You've heard us talk about DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports, and how payday can come every day by entering their contests with huge cash prizes up for grabs. For instance, I won $18 Saturday night. Thank you, Connor Halyabuck, for that, by the way. And if I can win, so can you. This week is jammed-packed with action ranging from hockey to basketball to golf. And DraftKings has plenty of ways for you to have a front row seat to all the action.
And making a lineup on DraftKings adds excitement to every night, and it's simple to do. Draft your lineup and feel the sweats like never before. Every moment means more with a DraftKings lineup on the line. DraftKings has paid out over $7 billion to users across all sports. DraftKings is the leader in daily fantasy sports, so there is no better place to get in on all of the action.
So now that you know how to play and you know that even idiots like me can win, download the DraftKings app and sign up using code THPN. New users will get a free entry and an extra bonus with their first deposit. That's code THPN to get a free entry and extra bonus with your first deposit. Only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
I was walking through the halls of a Minnesota rink when along came a Wild fan who started talking smack to me. He said, I bet you never liked the Blues until they won a cup. And so I calmly turned to him and said, hey man, listen up. I admit it's pretty great to win Lord Stanley's prize, but listen, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Heartbreak's all I knew, man. That team from old St. Lou, man. Got a cup in here, 52, man. Give me a Let's Go Blues. I know Oshie, Backus, Berglund, J-Bo, Perron, Petro, Steiner, Allen, Tarasenko, Gunnarsson, Bennington, Edmund, Shen, Stastny, Elliott, Fabry, Shattenkirk, O'Reilly, Schwartz, Reeves, Yarrow, Barber, Sheparenko, Dunn, Langen, Brunner, Portuzo, Koliakovo. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Heartbreak's all I knew, man. That team from old St. Lou, man. Got a cup in here, 52, man. So give me a We Went Blues.
And now, the starting lineup for your Bluenotes podcast. Tom Franklin and the man called Wags.
Hello and welcome to Bluenotes, located on the best city on the Mississippi, the best in the Midwest. We've got that Stanley Cup power, too sweet to be sour. And if you're still clueless, we are talking about St. Louis. This is your home for St. Louis Blues coverage on the Hockey Podcast Network. I am your host, Tom Franklin. Wags and Blues Fan Reacts will be along in just a little bit here. But first things first, we have some business to take care of here. We have some announcements to bring along to you here. And it starts off with a big announcement here. Now, you may, if you're watching the video version of this, first of all, you may notice here on the top right of the video here, we have a Center Ice Brewery logo. Now, that's not there by accident. That is there because we have a contest, a giveaway with Center Ice Brewery to bring along to you. I'm very excited about it. Of course, we've had their assistant brewer on, Jack Ferrara, recently. Of course, I drink their beer, of course. In fact, I'm not even prepared. Center Ice Brewery, and I haven't even opened it yet. What's wrong with me? Here we go. Let's fix this. There we go. And, of course, I've been talking to them about them a lot lately. Well, apparently they're very happy with what we are doing here at Bluenotes to help promote them because they have donated a $25 gift certificate for us to give away to a St. Louis area resident. That part's key. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Let me take a drink here real quick. There we go. So that $25 gift certificate, we are going to give that away with the help of DraftKings. And let me go ahead and bring up DraftKings real quick here for the video version. And I'll try to explain away as best as I can how DraftKings works here. So we have started the Center Ice Brewery Bluenotes $25 beer run. It's a league on DraftKings every day starting Friday, March 5th, and through the games on Saturday, March 13th. You can participate in daily fantasy contests through that league. Join the league. You'll be notified of the new contests as they are posted. They only let me post contests about a day or so in advance, but you will get notified if you join that league. And this is key because the high score after all the games on March 13th, whoever gets the highest score will win the $25 gift certificate to Center Ice Brewery. It's free beer, people. You can use it on their tasty beers, their merchandise, or hell, you can even regift it if you want to. I don't care what you do with it. This is 100% free. By the way, there is no charge for any of these contests. There's no charge to join the league. We've been touting, of course, the THPN code if you sign up for DraftKings. That's if you want to make a deposit right away. That gives you a 20% bonus on your first deposit, and it gives you like a $3 ticket to enter another contest if you want to. But you don't have to do that. This is 100% free. There is no cost, no obligation. Again, don't use that code if you don't want to make a deposit. I will drop the link to the league in the description below. You'll have to sign up for a DraftKings account, but again, you don't have to pay a single cent. This is just something I thought we would have some fun with and give away some free beer. Who doesn't love free beer, guys? So again, that's going to be running from Friday, March 5th through the game Saturday, March 13th. Hopefully we'll have someone from Center Ice on for the 14th episode, or I guess that'd be Monday the 15th afterwards, to announce the winner of the contest. And good luck to those who take part. Again, you can use it for beer, you can use it for merch, and then, or if you need to give a quick birthday gift to someone, it's a great option. Now, there are a couple caveats here. Number one, got to be 21 or over to enter because this is dealing with alcohol, and we got to obey alcohol laws here, guys. So you got to be 21 or over. And you need to live in the St. Louis region. And I say that because Center Ice doesn't ship out their beer. Now, if you want to get merchandise, they ship that out. But I have a feeling most of you are going to want free beer, right? Free beer, guys. Come on. It's free beer. It's beer, but it's free. It's the best kind of beer, guys. So, and they don't ship out their beer. Definitely not interstate. But if you live in the St. Louis area, you can stop by their Midtown location. They're located on Olive, just east of Compton. And you can order curbside service from them as well if you want to. Even if you don't win the gift certificate, I highly recommend checking out their tap room. They're a good bunch of people. Support your local businesses, folks. But anyway, if you're watching the video version, this is the Center Ice Brewery Bluenotes $25 beer run league here. And again, I'll be dropping in some contests here as time goes on. But in case you haven't seen how DraftKings works, let's go ahead and do a contest, like a live contest right now. So I'm actually recording this on Wednesday night before the Blues game here, about an hour and a half before the Blues game. So we won't have any analysis of the Wednesday night game because it's too late. It gets done at 11:30. I have to be up at 2 for work. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. Blame the NHL and their insistence that they screw over young St. Louis fans. But anyway, let's go ahead and do a contest here. So I've got a little bit of money in the bank here. I won a couple games over the weekend. So I won money over the weekend. Let's just say I don't know if I actually finished first in any contest, but finished high enough to get some money. So we got let's go ahead and do this NHL 15K sticks. Now this will cover the late games tonight here. And as you can see, you have immediately gives you a list of players. You can see the games that this is affecting. So this will be for the Minnesota Vegas games, Arizona, Los Angeles, and Colorado, San Jose. So any player that is involved in those games will be eligible for this particular contest. So you do have a salary cap, and you can see it over to the right-hand part where my mouse is if you're watching on the video. Average remaining player, got about an average of $5,500 to work with, and then you have a total of $50,000. You have to fill 2 centers, 3 wingers, 2 defensemen, a goalie, and a utility player. So Actually, you know what? This contest is $11. I'm feeling kind of cheap tonight. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go and do this $4 one. That's more like it. There we go. This is more of a demonstration. $11 is a kind of high for a demonstration, in my opinion. But same games, same deal. And let's go ahead and find our player here. So you can see the player, the position, their opponents are, their home team is, or their team rather, is highlighted in bold. PG is their fantasy points per game that they average on throughout the season. Their opponent's points rank is basically it's the quality of their quality of opponents. So, like for instance, Nate McKinnon, he's taking on San Jose Sharks. They're ranked 29th in the league, and he's got a high salary of $8,800. But you know what? I'm going to take it because he's Nathan McKinnon, and he is a great center. So now I'll probably want to look at more of a value center just to kind of offset McKinnon's high salary here. And let's take a look here at what I could possibly grab here. You know what? Nick Schmaltz tore into the Blues during the 7-game set with the Blues. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Nick Schmaltz as my other center. So you see I have 2 players in, 7 players left to go, and I have about $5,200 average player remaining. So now it automatically bumped you over to wingers. And of course, I can go ahead and grab Rantanen. I can grab Pacioretty, Connor Garland. Yeah, I'm grabbing Garland because let's face it, guys, he's good. And a good value pick lately has been Matt Zuccarello. He's playing at Vegas though, so I may want to avoid that. But then again, I might not. Is Timo Meier? Is he okay? And you can actually check each player, as you can see, and it'll give you an update on how they're doing. So he's healthy. He posted 3 assists just Tuesday night. So you know what? And he comes at a price tag of just $4,400. He's got a tough opponent in Colorado tonight, but he's a good fantasy player, and that's not a bad deal actually. I'll go ahead and grab Timo Meier. And then I have about $5,100 left to spend. Let's go ahead and use it on. I'll go and use it on Landeskog. He's got a pretty good matchup, and yeah, I feel like I'm cheating when I take Colorado's golden line players here. Now we're over to the defense, and actually I'm gonna hold off on defense. I'm gonna grab my goalie first of all here. So you can see the goalies listed here. The P indicates that they are the probable starter for tonight. So you can figure out which goalie you want to go with here. Now, Antti Ranta has been pretty good against the Blues. He's not having a great year though, so I may want to pass on him. Marc-Andre Fleury against a good Minnesota offense. I'm probably going to pass on that one. Cam Talbot starting against Vegas. Talbot's had actually a pretty good year this year. And you know what? He's one of the cheaper options there. It's just he's playing against a very good Vegas team. Let's see here. Let's go with, and they don't know who's going to start for Los Angeles yet, or at least they haven't picked one yet. I'm going to grab Talbot. It's a risk. It's a risk, but he's having a good year, and he's a pretty decent value. All right, so we got to pick 2 defenders here. We have about $4,300 on average, which is not that great. I kind of punt defensemen anyway, just because they're not going to be your big point getters. So I don't really go too crazy with them. I'll take Samuel Girard from Colorado. He's healthy again, and he's a good point producer. And then let's see here. What else do we have? We can go with Drew Doughty's. That's pretty good value. $4,800. Average about 10.5 points. If they're in double digits, that's generally good. So I'll go ahead and grab them. And then my last player is going to be a $4,100 player here. Now, they organize it by salary, so you can actually break it down and see who you can afford here. And you know what? I've got him on my fantasy team, so I'm going to go ahead and grab Kaprizov, even though he's got a tough matchup tonight. So there's my lineup here on the right side. And then you can, if you have lineups saved, if you're doing like multiple contests tonight, you can click on import. I'm not sure what reserve does. And then, of course, the enter is $4, which we'll go ahead and do. Now, again, the contest with Center Ice Brewery is going to be absolutely free. You don't have to pay a single dime. So there you go. All right, that's your tutorial for DraftKings, in case you are wondering, and hopefully this that helps you out and you take part in the contest. The more, the merrier. By the way, if any contest fills up on a given night, start shooting me messages. I'll start a new one, and we'll just go from there. They cap it at 19 people per contest, in order for the contest to be, I guess, guaranteed, or at least for the contest to go forward, if you will. If you do 20 and more and you try, and if you're short, the contest just cancels. So it's 19 people per contest, but if there's more people, I will start a new contest, and that will go into the league rating. So good luck. Good luck. That is our contest for the next week, and hopefully someone will get to enjoy some free beer, guys. That's who doesn't like free beer? Speaking of announcements, we have a couple new shows on the Hockey Podcast Network to let you know about. We've been adding a lot of shows this week, but I want to highlight two of them. So first of all, longtime Blues podcast, Blues Hockey Podcast, simple name, has joined the network. They have been doing this for over 7 years. They are called the Blues Hockey Podcast. That is their name. They're very simple to find, and I suspect that they understood what SEO is before SEO really got popular. So you can find them wherever you get your podcast from. Easy to search, and they've already interacted with us a little bit on Twitter. We hope to have some more cooperation with them going forward. Always nice to have a pair of veteran. Actually, I think they're at least a trio of podcasts. I admittedly haven't listened to them yet, but and again, I don't view them as. You may be wondering, well, why are you promoting another Blues podcast? Well, yeah, I promoted the Bluenote Fan Report. That guy, the Why Blues Fan, does. Blues Fan Reacts has his own YouTube channel. I kind of view this thing as an ecosystem. You know, I don't think there's any real competitors. We're all trying to make it in the podcasting world, I guess, and it doesn't hurt to help each other. I really don't. I'm not that competitive when it comes to this sort of thing. I mean, I am competitive in general, but I don't know. I just think the podcasting world podcasts by their nature are where people get together and talk about the issues, or talk about a subject, or what have you, and just have a friendly conversation. And that's what we're doing here. So, and there's no need for headbutting or hostility. So welcome the guys at the Blues Hockey Podcast. And then THPN has signed one of my favorite players in from the 90s growing up. And I'm not just saying that because he's now part of the network. This guy, I legit loved watching him play in the 90s. He was such a little punk, but he was such a talented scorer. He was very exciting to watch. I'm talking about former Calgary Flames forward Theo Fleury. He is going to be one of the hosts of the We're All a Little Crazy, alongside sports business reporter and mental health advocate Darren Ravel. You've known him over the years from ESPN. Now he's kind of doing his own thing. And the founder of the Same Here global mental health movement, Eric Husson. Now, that podcast will start in April, and I think it is great that we are having a much-needed discussion on mental health as it pertains to the game of hockey. There's been a lot of stories that have come out over the years about hockey players suffering from mental health issues. In my bookshelf behind me here, actually, it's up there, I have a book from Patrick O'Sullivan, who was a former highly touted prospect who dealt with just all sorts of abuse growing up. And he opened up and wrote a book about it to, talk about it. When you're having a mental health crisis, the best thing to do, besides, getting, medical help or, prescriptions, is just talking about it. And so I'm glad we're having this talk. I'm glad Theo, Darren, and Eric are a part of the network, and I'm looking forward to their shows. Definitely. This will be one that I definitely put on my regular rotation. So just as a general heads up, I'm recording this on Wednesday before the Wednesday night game. We recorded with Wags and Bluenotes, Blues Fan Reacts before this as well. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, we'll have more coming up, just as a special little extra for the audio side of things on Thursdays. We do a lot of stuff with video, and we love all of our video watchers and subscribers. But we also have the audio version as well. We want to kind of show our audio listeners some love as well. So a little extra content by finding Bluenotes on your favorite podcast provider and listening to the audio version of this episode. Speaking of youngsters, we recently talked about Klim Kostin and the possibility of him coming over to help with the forward depth. He ended up with 7 goals and 11 assists in 43 games with Avangard Omsk. The regular season there is done. And in typical Kostin fashion, he also had 50 penalty minutes, as Kostin does. And he really turned it up as the season went on. He didn't do much at the start, but as it went on, he started really showing off the talent that made him a first-round pick of the Blues a few years back. And I think he's kind of got Blues fans excited again. And a lot of people are wondering, with all the forward depth issues that the Blues are having right now, can we get Klim Kostin over to the United States to help out with the Blues forward depth? Because certainly he would, you'd probably rather have, him playing than like a Sam Annis or a Dakota Joshua. More on Joshua in just a little bit. I don't want to knock him or anything, but Klim Kostin and Dakota Joshua are a little different in terms of, the future NHL prospect hierarchy, I guess. So now that the regular season is over for the KHL, a lot of people think, oh, let's just bring Kostin over. No problem, right? Not so fast. Blues GM Doug Armstrong addressed this topic earlier in the week, and I want to talk about it now. Avangard Omsk is in the KHL playoffs, and their playoffs can kind of drag out a little bit. So, and Avangard's pretty good. Their team is pretty good this year. I don't know if they're going to be better than SKA St. Petersburg, which is kind of the powerhouse there, but they could make a deep run in the playoffs. So, and they're probably going to win Kostin for that. So that's an issue. That's one issue. But I know what you're saying. What if Avangard gets bounced in the first round? Well, you have to get Kostin over from Russia to the United States. And keep in mind, we are still in a pandemic. We are still living with COVID, living with COVID. I feel like that should be the title of a book, Living with COVID. So it's not so simple as putting Kostin on the next plane from Moscow or Omsk to the United States and catching a connecting flight to St. Louis, because there's probably no direct flights from St. Louis to Russia. So no, you can't do that. You have to, once you get Klim in the States, he needs to quarantine for 14 days. He's going to sit in a hotel room by himself, isolated for 14 days. Now, if he does this, by the way, if he comes over and he has to sit in a hotel room, maybe we can get him on Bluenotes. Just a thought. And by the way, speaking of Blues prospects, I got an announcement to make here in just a little bit as well, before we head to the break and bring in Wags and Mason in. It's good news, guys. It's really good news. But back to Kostin. So Kostin's going to be in a hotel room quarantining for 14 days. And in 14 days, I don't know what his body weight regimen is like, or what his, self-isolating workout regimen is like, but he's going to have some time to get back into game shape after he gets out of that hotel room and he's determined he's not going to infect the world. So that might take a few days, a week. I mean, he's been away from the roster entirely this whole season, so he needs to get adjusted to the North American game again. He needs to, get adjusted to Coach Berube's system, and he needs to be evaluated to see, okay, what do we do with Klim Kostin? Where do we put him in the lineup? Because as you know, Berube likes to have, muckers and grinders, at least one up on those first two lines, to add a little bit of a physical presence, throughout the lineup. So does Kostin go in the first line, second line, third line, fourth line? You need time to determine where he goes. So let's pump the brakes a little bit. The Kostin door it's not closed. It's not open. It's stuck. Right now, it's just stuck. Thank you, COVID. Thank you so much. I hope we see Kostin at some point, but just my point here is just don't bet on it. Don't put all your eggs in that basket. It'd be nice if we got him over, but there's a lot of hoops he has to jump through for that. So back to Dakota Joshua, or as I call him on Twitter, Dakilla Joshua. Whoop, whoop. He got to benefit from some surprise NHL playing time this week. And by the way, there's really nothing to Dakilla Joshua. It's just something I thought of. It's stupid. I know. You think it's stupid. You probably do. I know you do. I know you're shaking your head right now. Guess what? the killer, got a goal Monday night. So no more laughing at Dakota Joshua and, thinking that he's a country singer or, he's never going to be anything in the NHL. The guy got a freaking goal. But of course, it wasn't like, he, faked out the goaltender or, clapped a 101 mile an hour slap shot. No, as he puts it, quote, right in the midsection. I'm not so sure. It all happened really fast. A nice, greasy, go to the net goal. And that's what it was. He, I forget who made the initial shots. I don't have that in front of me, but a Blues player shot the puck, and off the rebound, it basically bounced off his belly button, and it went by the goaltender. And in NHL, if it goes off the body and it wasn't like deliberately pushed in, which it wasn't, they did review it because it looked like it may have gone off his wrist or his glove, but it actually went off. It did physically go off his torso. So it went off his torso, went in. He gets credit for the goal. He is now on the NHL score sheet. And if he never plays an NHL game again, he will have one goal in one game. That is a point per game player, Dakota Joshua. Although I think he will be playing Wednesday night. We'll, of course, you'll know that whenever you listen to this podcast or watch this podcast and the game's already done. So there you go. I've never really dreamed of scoring my first NHL goal off my belly button, but hey, it works, right? It still counts. So speaking of youngsters, I teased it just a couple minutes ago. Next week, I'm not sure if it's going to be for the Monday or Thursday episode yet. We're still working out the logistics with his junior team. But you may have heard that Blues goaltending prospect Colton Ellis signed an entry-level contract. And you might be wondering who Colton Ellis is, and you might look at his stats and go, damn, this guy is lighting it up in the queue. He was on a shutout record for a while. He's like 16-1. This guy is pretty exciting. And so I reached out to his QMJHL team, I should say, the Charlottetown Islanders, and they are going to make Colton Ellis available to us here on Bluenotes for a chat next week. When we live stream Sunday, it might be live Sunday afternoon, or it'll be our Thursday episode for next week. We have to kind of line up his schedule with ours. So, but we are looking forward to bringing Colton Ellis on Bluenotes, either the next episode or the one right after it. It will be next week. I can comfortably say we will have Colton Ellis next week at some point. So stay tuned for more details on when you can hear from the Blues goaltending prospect, Colton Ellis. So that's pretty exciting news. Speaking of exciting, it's not very exciting in Detroit right now for Red Wings fans, but damn if the Red Wing Rant guys don't make it exciting to listen to their podcast. And they've asked us to play a promo of theirs, and we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So check out the guys from Red Wings Rant.
He's my brother Mike.
He's my brother Matt.
And we are the Brothers of Discussion, hosting Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas about your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home.
In a season mired in tragedy and despair, we are here to be your audible Earl Grey, to bring joy, placidity, and perspective to one of the roughest eras in Red Wing history. We honor the past, find the positives in the present. I swear they're there. And paint the picture of what's to come in the Winged Wheels future. Paul Woods here on the radio broadcast your Detroit Red Wings, and I'm going to play games like Who's That Pokemon? Where Matt has to try and guess quotes pulled right out of context for Jeff Blashill, and we got to figure out who that Red Wing is.
Every episode, we put ourselves in the legendary shoes of Steve Yzerman and play Be the GM, finding ways to ice a competitive team while accumulating assets for the franchise's future. We also shoot the breeze. Some of the great local and national voices in Red Wings hockey, including Ken Kell and Keith Gave, and Greg Wyshynski and Ryan Lambert.
Check us out every Monday and Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts.
And check us out live every Wednesday and Sunday for Red Wings reactions and live conversations with you on our YouTube channel, The Brothers of Discussion.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Blue Notes. I want to thank you for listening and watching, because without you, there is no me, there is no Wags, there is no Blues Fan Reacts, and there is no Hockey Podcast Network. I'm Tom Franklin, reminding you to not be a chump and always play to that whistle.
A reminder that you can follow Blue Notes on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Blue Notes Pod. I'm the voice of the Blues, Tom Calhoun. Jeremy Boyer, play us out.
You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network, your home for hockey talk covering every team in the NHL. New episodes every Monday. Download at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.